everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what is up, fellow nerds? How you guys doing? Welcome back. It is Wednesday, October 2nd, and the market was, should I say, amazing. What else words can we use? Great. Well, great's kind of not as good as amazing, but amazing, glorious. Opportunities were across the board. The China, I mean, what a move on the Chinese market overnight. The Hong Kong market gapping up, Chinese stocks gapping up crazy. Some of them giving you beautiful short opportunities, some of them giving you even better long opportunities. So the Chinese market was brilliant, incredible, stupendous. That's right. You bringing in the right words and the right vibe, Victor. Welcome to the stream. Stupendous, incredible, brilliant. These are the right terms to be using for today's move on the Chinese market. I mean, we're up 7.19% on FXI. Even the shorts eventually got bought back up, and I'm just sitting there in awe of everything. Now, I was heavily short right off the open, so you know I made some money. But then what I missed out is that insane long. I was just in shock that even after that big gap up on the Chinese market, we're still going to continue rallying, and just every dip just gets bought back up. It wasn't easy being short, I will tell you that. It required a lot of skill. It required a lot of patience and really believing in the short theory yourself. But sometimes when you do something like that, you're opening yourself up for a little bit more risk, which I was okay with doing. But thankfully I made money compared to how much I was risking. But that was just a crazy move on the market. I'm in shock. I'm at loss for words for the Chinese market. As for our market, I mean, it was kind of nothing burger, if I remember correctly. I'll be honest with you, I was mainly watching FXI and the Chinese stocks in general. I wasn't looking at Apple, Tesla, but I did watch Apple at one point. I remember seeing Apple flushing, but then really running to the upside. I remember Tesla kind of flushing off of its delivery numbers. So possible trades over there were available for those who were interested. But for me, it was just China. That was the only name of the game for me. And the higher it goes, you guys know the story when it comes to my streams. The higher these names go, the juicier the mean reversion short's gonna be. So I'm looking for that big juicy mean reversion intraday short opportunity like I was today, right? It's fine if it wasn't today, but whenever it is, we want to be prepared for it. So that's the point of the stream today. We got once again a long list of Chinese names. One of the names that we actually didn't talk about last night because I didn't know they were Chinese, but I know they're Chinese today, and it was one of the cleaner short setups. So we're gonna take a look at that name also. And we also have the oil names with the geopolitical tension going on in the Middle East, where we have possible war escalation and so on. So we got some oil names in there, semiconductors, Bitcoin, and the Magnificent Seven. So our usual ETF for what we've been starting off the week with. But the main focus is basically, once again, the Chinese sector. Before we go head on to the stream, let's quickly show who else is on the chat today. We got Angry Buddha. Angry Buddha, you've been gigantic help for me by trying to help me on the Twitter side. I appreciate that, brother. Much love, much love. TH, going west soon. What does that mean? You're going to the west side soon, or you're changing your username to something else? You're changing TH to going west soon? Is that what you're doing? Are you pulling a Kanye West on us over here, TH? But welcome to the stream, and obviously we got Victor. Victor, appreciate you showing up. I know you just finished the stream, and usually when I finish the stream, the first thing I want to do is just take a nice 30 minutes break from my computer. That's a lie. I'm not taking a break from my computer, but just take a nice quick step away from the computer, not hear anything about stock market being talked, play with my dog a little bit, maybe go do the dishes. So I spend like a good 15-30 minutes away from the computer, really, but then I come back and I spend the next 3-4 hours on the computer anyway. So it's not like I'm taking any real break, but I appreciate you doing that. You know, showing up to another stream just goes to show how much you love the market and everything about the market. I love it. I love the passion from Victor every single day. If you guys haven't checked out his stream, he streamed twice today again. He streamed in the morning, which I actually had it open, but I was so busy with the opening market. You know, market opens at 9:30 that I kind of just forgot that I had just streamed in the back open. I had my earphones unplugged and I was just focused on punching keys. So I didn't see your morning stream, but I did catch you on the evening stream. Great info once again. Guys, go follow Victor. Go check him out. Let's go head over to the full screen over here to show you guys what's in store for tonight. So here's the watch list. Starting off with Novavax. For some reason, Novavax went crazy today. I'm not sure what the news was, but we'll take a look at Novavax. And then while I was taking a look at Novavax, I also shuffled through Pfizer and Moderna. And I noticed Pfizer doesn't really have a clean day trading pattern for me to get excited about. But what does is Moderna. Moderna pulling back into one of the solid support levels that we were previously watching out for. So Moderna gets below that level, that opens up some floodgates. But if Moderna continues to find buying around that level, we can potentially look for some long over there. So Moderna popping up in the watch list thanks to Novavax. Usually I never try to trade Moderna unless there's an actual catalyst. So we'll see what's going on with NVX and how it could potentially give us a sympathy trade or just another trade in the same sector over here. HKD. I know you guys haven't heard this name in a long time. I for sure haven't. This is the name that went from $2 to wait to what? To $2,500 in one day, if I remember correctly. So HKD coming back into the market, craziness at the moment. I'm guessing this is just because of the whole Chinese sector going up. You got people buying up this low float squeeze name up once again and causing it to climb up to the high side. Not saying that the stock will go back to 2000, but we've seen how this name acts up before and how crazy this one gets. So if this one continues to get some love tomorrow, potentially keeping this one on the watch list. Along with that, we have the main Chinese names: FXI, Baba, JD, Pinduoduo, Baidu, and Futu. That was a name that I missed out. Did not know that there's a Chinese name, but that one was a monster short if you were looking for the short side. Pinduoduo is what I traded today, and it was hella choppy. It would have hurt you if you were not quick with your exits. Thankfully I was, so I didn't get hurt on that one. Baidu was fairly easy to get short. Baba and JD were fairly easy to get short, I would say. But the main one was FUTU that we missed out. So we're going to keep an eye on that one tonight to see if we can trade it tomorrow, or see if there's any potential setups setting up on FUTU tomorrow for us to take advantage of. Then we got the U.S. oil sector. Today at 10:30 off the U.S. oil inventories numbers, all of them sold off. U.S. oil already was weak before 10:30 anyways. So that 10:30 number just added more weakness to the market, and this continued pulling back the market. XOM pulled back to 120 after gapping up. CVX, I didn't even bother checking CVX. I actually removed that from my watch list. XOM, XLE, and Indo all pulling back with the whole crude oil market. So we'll see if I don't know if Iran's big oil refinery gets attacked by any chance randomly overnight, or while we're waking up in the morning. That's gonna obviously cause these oil names to go right back up to the north side. So with everything going on right now, unless Israel really makes things worse, which they keep saying that they're going to, unless they really make things worse, this kind of watch list dies out for us, mainly for the short side. We'll keep an eye on these names like XLE. If it doesn't stay above 120, I'm still looking for that short on XOM. Sorry, I'm talking about XOM, not XLE. If XOM can't stay above 120, I'm still looking for the short on XOM. But if crazy shit just pops off, if you know, oil refineries are getting hit, more buildings are getting blown up, hospitals are getting absolutely smashed to the ground, if things like that are happening, then these names will catch some traction. Along with the oil names, you have the defense names, RTX, Lockheed Martin, both of which rallied pretty high to the north side yesterday. RTX kinda held around the all-time high of 124. They actually both gapped up today also, but then they pulled back. So RTX kind of held around 124.50, but not really too much of an actionable trade there. I didn't watch LMT. That's a lie. I did watch LMT for a very brief second. If I remember correctly, it bounced off of like 601 or 600 area. So that could have potentially given you a long if you were watching for it, but I'm not trading LMT. I'd much rather trade RTX. So RTX will be on the watch list. However, we'll take a look at LMT for potentially some idea generation at the end of the day. Then you have the semiconductor name: NVIDIA, SMCI, ARM, Micron, TSM, Intel, all of those semiconductor baskets. You can even throw in AMD, whatever other semiconductor you're thinking of. So mainly I care about the big dogs. AMD, I don't really want to day trade it at the moment. Personal bias on AMD, so I don't want to, you know, affect my personal bias ever on my day trading. So I kind of want to leave that alone to the side. But if you want to look for opportunities, there could be opportunities there too. You got the cryptocurrency basket, which recently pulled back to 60K. So that one has caused a little bit of shakeup in MSTR and Coinbase after a beautiful rally on both of them. Obviously, Bitcoin pulling back should naturally take IBIT, which is the ETF for Bitcoin, to the south side also. So keeping an eye on these three names as we're tracking the spot market, which is the Bitcoin market itself. Last but not least, we have the Magnificent Seven along with the big cap ETFs. Then you have the couple other ETFs sprinkled in here that I like to keep an eye on, like the semiconductor, XLF, gold, and silver. So that's basically our watch list for today. Starting with at the top of the watch list, it is Novavax. So what the hell happened with Novavax today to be up 19% when its competitors, when its partner in crimes didn't really do too much? Pfizer, for example, down 0.21%. mRNA, I already told you it was down on the day because it moved back into one of the solid levels that we were looking out to see how the stock trades into. So now down 1.2%. So what did Novavax do today for it to be allowed to have this big of a move? I mean, that's a solid base also that we're kind of launching off of. So a lot of support being built in this area. More explosion to to the north side as we now start taking out the short seller stops. So looking to see how this stock picks up. Average 30-day volume 6 million, today's volume 17.5 million, so big spike up over there in relative volume also. Don't tell me that it's only went up because of a buy rating. Come on. What time is 19:10? That's really late at night. I mean, that's not... Wait, that's 5 hours ago? That's still not early in the day for it to matter. I don't see... Novavax gained 9.3%. Okay, I see that, but why? Why did Novavax go up today? You know what? Why bother? Let's do this. Just do this. Based on the information available up to October 2nd, 2024, the increase in Novavax stock price can be attributed to several factors: bullish analyst reports, revenue guidance, and product prospects. Discussion around Novavax's ability to ramp up sales of its COVID, along with the advancements in their pipeline, particularly their flu and potential future vaccines, suggests a robust growth trajectory. The mention of Novavax advancing its own flu vaccine into phase 3 trials could lead into major partnerships, furthering fueling stock price increase. Market sentiment and speculation, regulatory and product approval, although not directly linked to today's rise. Previous approvals like the EU and Canadian approval for Novaxovid and the subsequent US EUA have historically impacted Novavax stock price positively by validating their vaccine technology and market potential. I mean, that's something I did not know. This I call bullshit. I'm guessing this is all we have, really. The bullish analyst upgrade from Jefferies, continuing to maintain at a buy rating, taking Novavax to 20% to the high side. That's crazy. That's a little crazy. I'm not sure about that. Unless you're curing cancer or Alzheimer's, COVID is kind of over with, right? Let's be real. COVID is kind of over with. I haven't taken a COVID vaccination booster in so long. I don't see people wearing masks. My own parents, who were kind of panicking about it back in the day when it happened, fairly enough, everybody was panicking. They don't really care about it anymore. So it's over with. Now it's just looked at as a common flu. People know what the reality of it was. It's kind of just GG's at that point. So if they're banking on just selling COVID vaccinations again, are we really saying that this stock belongs to be up 20% more when most people who are taking COVID-19 vaccinations took either Moderna or the Pfizer vaccination? Who really took Novavax or J&J? Not a lot of people. A lot of people took either the Moderna or the Pfizer. So if that's the only reason that the stock is going up, I call bullshit. So watch out for this company. Currently rejecting around $15 fairly well. But if we start, it's fairly simple. If we start holding above this $14, $15 area and start buying above here, then it's almost a no-brainer long for us to look into. But if we start seeing selling around 15, going back into 14 and then struggling around 14 also, then that is a right back into 11. But because of the solid base that the stock has had over here from the previous earnings report, it almost turns me off on the short side, because all of this consolidation is just showing you the strength in this name. So at best on the short side, you get 14, like I just said. If it does go below 14, you're just going into a lot of choppy range. At that point, you're maybe not getting that $12, $11 lows coming back into play. So that the strength in this stock is just too crazy for me to look short. But I'm just gonna go ahead and call bullshit on that move so far. If it does show me support above 14.50, above 15, then I'm looking to get long. So I'm going to put that as my inflection level, not really as my, well, I guess I could put 15 to 15.20 as my resistance area. I'll put 1450 as my infliction, and I'll put 14 as my potential support, because I want to recognize the amount of times we traded under it, and now finally getting above it. That can very easily turn into support on any sort of a pushback. So you want to recognize that type of a level and be ready for it if you are short into that price. Never get short into a wall like that. You're just asking to get hurt. But if I can risk 5-10 cents on a short like Novavax for a move almost $1 back into 14, that's a, you know, for the type of trade that Novavax is, I'll call it like a C setup. It's not an A plus. You know, it's not a B either, because you're fighting a lot of buying. But if the setup is there at the right price on the highs, I'm looking for it. Moderna, talking about shorting COVID vaccination names. Let's talk about Moderna. Moderna has been one of the biggest shorts in history. And I've been, you know, screaming short at the top of the hill ever since this happened. So, boy, oh boy, I wish I was actually short this company at that moment, but I wasn't. But now, as a day trade opportunity is incoming, we're going right back into 2023 lows. That's not even the 50, that is the 52-week low. Sorry, I was gonna say that's not the 52-week low, but that is the 52-week low. Real quick, I just want to throw in from that high and see where that goes. That goes there. Okay, so we're going right back into the 52-week low. If I remember, it's like $62.50. Yeah, so $62.50. If we get under it and find selling under it, that opens up quite a bit of a downside. And if I remember correctly, Novavax has cited some trouble previously, which actually caused it to break back down and struggle a lot around these areas. This could also be looked as a little bit of a cup and handle, but failing cup and handle at the moment, I guess. But overall, my only pattern that I like to see is either we play under or above 62.50. Are you getting bought above 62.50, or are you getting sold below 62.50? Easy, simple trade. HKD. So this is one of those previous high-flying small cap names that has gone from, you know, a normal price to a crazier price in a span of days. So we've seen that happen. Also unwinded in a span of days too. But now with all the wild, crazy stories going on in the Chinese market, what the hell is going on here? With all the crazy stories going on in the Chinese market, these names are picking back up in volume. Only 9 million shares. You know, back in the day, we're used to seeing hundreds of million shares on this name. 30 millions of shares, apparently, not hundreds of million. Maybe I'm misremembering it at the moment. But HKD, if it catches traction and starts going crazy again, potential fun on this one. Be careful being short, especially if the Chinese market's not pulling back. So overall, let's just take a look at the Chinese market. FXI, the Great China Dragon. CCP, loving this move during a holiday. Although Hong Kong didn't really have a holiday, I guess because Hong Kong is not Chinese, right? Watch the CCP just hack my internet right now and shut me down for calling Hong Kong its own country. FXI, pretty bonkers move if you ask me. You know, we first start sell off off the open, so that looked pretty good. The shorts looked great. Let me try to show you my short on the day, especially on FXI and Pinduoduo. View original. This FXI. Had a nice long on meta today. But I want to show you FXI. Gotta be FXI. Where is it? View original. Is that FXI? Yes. So here is my Pinduoduo trade. So right off the open, I let the stock pop a little bit and then show me some weakness. I took the breakout of 152, quickly scalped out for some profits on the pop. I added on the break below 152 again. I added more, got out some more size on the breakdown over there, covered some size into the low of the day, basically into the flush, this is like a $4 move, $3 move from where I'm short. So I'm enjoying the ride to the downside. But here's where I start seeing the characteristics changing. So I try to hold for a bigger move, but it doesn't give it to me. So I have to now be ready to change my plan. So I get out of my shares over here. Profitable trade right off the open. Boom. I'm out. And then later on in the day, around 155, 156, the stock struggles. It has some size on the offer, so I'm short again, and I'm able to ride it into VWAP. I did not expect it to have a deeper pullback than VWAP because of how bullish it was right around these areas. So I did not expect a bigger pullback than VWAP. I thought this would just be a scalp, so I just treated it as a scalp, traded it as a scalp, treated it as a scalp, took my quick profits, walked away. Did not think that there could be a juicier move being offered, and I guess that was the best trade on the day today on Pinduoduo. It was a really hard stock to stay short throughout the day, because if you were watching the tape, you would have seen how strong it was. Every single dips just keep getting bought back. It was marvelous. And if you watch FXI on the day today, FXI basically, look at that, walked right back into pre-market high, and then after hours we start climbing higher. So the Chinese dragon, very strong at the moment, roaring on top of the mountain. Roar! And shout out to China, man. That's all I can say. Shout out to China. Die, Nike, die. TH, what's your problem? TH, what is your problem? I put in TH in the it's hilarious. Nike, as I said, you're playing under over 80 or you're playing under over 85, 86. It's either above 80 or it's below 80. It's either above 85, 86 or it's below 85, 86. So I'm not really looking to make any intraday trades on this position unless it's at those specific levels for me. My YouTube is my YT is TH. This morning it had somehow been changed to TH going west soon, but not from any changes I made. Did you make any changes to your Gmail account? Because I know that's tied to this. So if you made changes to your Gmail account, that probably changed it also. Reviews for Joker 2 trickling online. 15 songs and weak thumbs up. I mean, people are gonna hate. The haters gonna hate. You know, you just gotta potate. Is that what it is? Haters gonna hate. I like to be judges of movie about myself. I don't like reading critics. I don't like looking at IMDb report numbers and all of that bullshit. I'd rather watch a movie and judge it myself. I feel like I'm the way better judge. Half of these critics don't know what they're talking about 99% of the time. So I don't care what critics say. That trailer for Joker 2, I mean, that one scene where whoever came up with that scene deserves an Oscar. Where I don't want to show it because I'll get instantly flagged by YouTube for showing that content. But if you watch trailers for Joker 2, there's this one scene where you know, I'm guessing it's Lady Gaga who actually does it because she's playing Harley Quinn. She draws a smiley face with the lipstick, and on the other side of the glass, because he's in prison, Joker, aka Joaquin Phoenix, he's sitting there with a frowny face, and then he just kind of moves over his head, and the frowny face, it turns into a smiley face, and it matches perfectly the silhouette of the lipstick, and then it looks like the classical Joker image itself. I mean, whoever came up with that scene deserves a goddamn Oscar, period. Just for that one scene of the trailer, I want to go watch the movie. That's it. I think the movie's gonna be insane, but I'll be the judge of it, not the damn critics. NKLA sells hydrogen trucks skyrocketed 19% today. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Wow, decent volume spike up to 16 million shares traded on the day today. Probably the largest volume the stock has ever had. Was there any news? Record 3Q Class 8 truck sales. Okay. 88 fuel cell trucks being sold in Q3. So their delivery numbers came out really well. This company, if you guys remember, obviously was a scam, right? The CEO was a scammer. Eventually, they got caught, and then they kicked the CEO out, and then just turned the company into a legitimate company where they're selling trucks. Okay, let's see. That's pretty cool. So it delivered 88 hydrogen fuel cell trucks, totaling to 200 trucks this year. So that brought them up to a 22% rise on this position. All right, might have to take a look at this stock tomorrow too. Why do you guys like making my watch list ridiculously long? Oh, god damn it. All right, so NKLA might be something to keep an eye on. Has this stock bottomed out? Question mark. 200 trucks actually been sold this year. More research to be done for sure. NKLA is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Asian markets, Japan jumps up 2.5% as yen weakens. Even Japan market rising to the upside like their flag, the rising sun. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I hope I'm not wrong by saying that. The rising sun flag. Even the Japan markets are going up at the moment, making the carryover trade even better. So the fear in the market most likely dying out. Wah, wah, wah. Hey man, as long as the volatility is up, I don't care. Right, so volatility right now slightly under 19, but let's see if we can continue staying volatile on the market, because the more volatile we are, the crazier the moves come for us to play with. So let's continue down the Chinese watch list. I mean, at the moment, you've seen the after hour level was $36, not even 35. Wait, was it 30? I think it was 36, right? Let's go to the 5-minute chart here real quick. So $36 is the after hour high over here on FXI. That could very easily gap up even more. At this point, these markets are up 50% year to date. They're going to be up 30% in past month or something crazy like that. This is way too much, too far, too quick, guys. This is not sustainable. So I'm looking short. Granted how bullish some of these moves are. I mean, Pinduoduo just last month or 2 months ago was screaming destruction mode, and it takes a month and a half to come all the way back here into all-time highs. That's ridiculous. That's maybe not all-time highs, sorry, but into 52-week highs. That's ridiculous. So I'm looking for that mean reversion short. I don't want to keep saying the same thing every day to you guys, because I know that will sound very boring, but it is what I'm looking for. These moves are insane. So as a day trader, the higher these stocks pop into the pre-market, the more I'm looking to take the pre-market break short, the more I'm looking to short the pops on these names and look for that mean reversion. For example, FUTU today was the best short name that you could have had in the Chinese market. Did not really pull back much, and when it did, all those pullbacks got stuffed, whereas Pinduoduo, completely different story. That one was, holy smoke, scary. Very, very scary to trade today. I'm just glad it didn't hurt me. So watching all of these names one more time, looking to see if today's lows, today's highs, today's VWAP, yesterday's high, how do these levels come into play? Today's high exactly around yesterday's VWAP, I'd guess around $112, and I'm guessing we bounced off of yesterday's VWAP, and yeah, my guess is exactly right. Look at that. So last month's high and today's high is exactly the same, and yesterday's VWAP, which is this yellow anchored VWAP, is exactly where the stock found support off of and bounced, showing you that the strength in the market, strength in the sector is very much present. Very, very, very much present. So let them rise. The higher they go, the juicier the setup is. You can also look long. Look long off of today's VWAP being held, or yesterday's VWAP being held, or whenever the move, the day one catalyst anchored VWAP, which is obviously a lot lower than what yesterday's VWAP or today's VWAP would be. But these are the anchored VWAPs that you What the hell? I just choke on my saliva. Holy shit. Oh, that hit hard. That hit different. So watching how these names react at the technical levels. At the moment, they are parabolic. So let them be parabolic before you jump in front of the train and try to get hit by it. Usually, you would try not to get hit by the train. Okay, so looking for characteristics to change. Today's candle, I'd say it was fairly bullish, man. I'd say it's fairly bullish. The way Pinduo bounced, the way JD bounced, the way Baidu bounced, FUTU was the only kind of weak one, really. So the way all of these bounce, I mean, just look at the FXI candle, right? The most of the tail is to the downside and most of the body is to the upside. Insane reversal on FXI after holding today's low around 34.50, 34.45. So insanely bullish, very, very bullish move over here on the market. Now, let's go to the US oil. I did mention that I expect the US oil market to pull back and XOM and all of them to pull back, but sadly XOM had already gapped higher to start off the day to the point where I was not ready to look short unless it went into all-time high, and I was not willing to look long unless we went into 120, at which point we did get a minor bounce, but it was already too late on the day for it to even matter. So I kind of didn't even, I guess it did matter because we went up to $121.52 right off of that bounce, and oh, surprise, surprise, we bounced right off of yesterday's VWAP. So that's a pretty good return on right back into today's VWAP after bouncing from yesterday's VWAP on XOM. So shout out to that move over there. If you were patient enough for that, remember we said under over 120, either it stays over 120 or it stays below 120. So because these gapped up, I couldn't really trade too much on these names as much as I wanted to, but tomorrow potential breakdown below 120, finding weakness below 120 opens up a lot of room to the downside, because it's not like, you know, they're increasing production levels, it's not like they're creating more oil or anything. It's just the geopolitical tensions that are causing these names to go up. So if Israel doesn't really go out and attack Iran as they've been threatening to in the next day, I don't think these stocks are going to continue rallying the way they have been. So I'm expecting 120 to eventually give up and we push lower, or we go back into 124. Well, actually it's 123.75, but I'm going to round it up to 124 as a level for us to play with. RTX 124.50. So we did get under 124.50, closer under 124. This is kind of the same idea as the oil names. Unless Iran gets attacked or Iran attacks Israel, I'm not expecting too volatile of a moves over here. So these are more news-based names. Obviously, you can directly go trade QQQ and S&P 500 based on the news catalyst whenever that news catalyst comes out, or you can just trade RTX or oil if you want, right? Just choose your weapon of choice. Maybe not the right terminology to be using at the moment. Choose your instrument of choice and trade it well. Whatever it is that you feel more comfortable. If it's RTX, if it's LMT, if it's oil names, or if it's the overall market itself, choose your instrument of choice and trade it well. And make sure you're having some sort of squawk. For example, I use Benzinga. If you want to check out Benzinga, feel free to click on my Linktree page right down over here, Benzinga Pro. I'll paste the Linktree page in my chats at the moment. Oh, we actually have a comment viewer in Twitch, or sorry, x.com chat. That's actually surprising. We have a viewer, JJ Taxon. I like OUSM before election time also. They're saying oil might drop to 50 bucks a barrel. OUSM. Let me quickly take a look at that. Never really saw that name before. Is it an ETF? It is an ETF. And looking to, I guess, trade it to the short side. I'm guessing that's the idea that you have over there, JJ. But yeah, I mean, unless crazy things happen, I'm not expecting crazy things to happen on RTX and oil names. Oil names could give you a decent pullback to get short into, and XOM is going to be my weapon, my instrument of choice. Stop it, Prad. Oh my goodness, I'm asking to get canceled. All right. Let's talk about some of the semiconductor names. Nvidia looking a little weak. I mean, we did bounce up into 118 today, but this box over here, I don't really care to trade in that box. But the second we get below 115 on Nvidia, I think we easily have a move down to 113.50 and then a bigger move down. So watching how Nvidia trades into $115 and then below 115 into 113, which honestly shouldn't really hold up, because if we are breaking 115, I'm expecting us to really pull back into $100. Market's weak. S&P 500's below 565. QQQ is selling off. There's actual crazy scare going on in the Middle East, and that's when I expect Nvidia to kind of slam below 115. So 115 is my first major support level, and for the resistance, you can see how we have a little bit of a choppy resistance area at the moment. You can call this previous high as a resistance. You can kind of lean the resistance even more higher based on your personal risk tolerance. If you care about it, then you have another level, then you have another level. So there's a bunch of levels over here that you can kind of use as resistance. So I'm not really looking to short until we get to a bigger major level like this one or this one or this one on the short side. And if I'm really thinking long, that I want to see this consolidated box hold above it. I want to see a multi-day hold above this consolidation box, but right now we're not seeing that. We're right back into this box, and not really the stock that I want to pick for the semiconductor basket, because there's way better names out there. For example, look how stair-step down Micron has been until we walked all the way into the $100 price point, which is also the earnings anchored VWAP. So finally pushing into, wait, that's not true. That is, what catalyst was this? We're now kind of sandwiched between that catalyst, whatever this catalyst was. Usually I label them, but I've been pretty lazy recently, so I haven't been labeling my anchored VWAPs. I've been pretty lazy, but this one, this purple one, is the earnings anchored VWAP, and we are obviously under it, but we're currently above another anchored VWAP that I thought was significant for some reason. I can't remember why. Trade of some sort. Can't remember why. Anyways, we'll be interested to see if we can actually gap close on this name, or do we find some buying into the $100 range. We actually bounced right off of yesterday's low, so more holding into 99 into 100 just opens up a long over there on Micron. A much cleaner setup, easier long setup in my opinion, and then the long would get even easier if we just gap close into $96 and then bounce off of that, especially if the market's weak. Micron takes out the 99 area, pushes into 96, gives you an easy $3 short, and then flips into a long from 96 for you to also capture all the way back into 99. So you get to capture a $3 short, $3 long. So for me, it's a much easier trade on Micron than Nvidia. Nvidia just kind of stays on the sideline for me. ARM also goes onto the sideline at the moment, because the other one that I care about is SMCI. Obviously had a stock split, $30 on, well, it's not really 30, but it's I guess you could say $40, right? $40 on SMCI is I guess fairly cheap, right? Because this is a company that's growing by 110%, if I remember correctly, what their growth was, year-to-year growth. Their PE is extremely cheap. So this is a company that stock price is almost, people are going to die to get long on a name like this, because this is easily going to go back into $100. Granted, they're not actually an accounting fraud. If they are a scam, if they are an accounting fraud, then this stock easily deserves to go right back into $9, you know, much lower. I think going into, yeah, anyways, I'm not doing the math now. So the whole question now depends on is this the next big most, this guy's car goes off every day. My neighbor's car goes off every day. Crazy. The next big question over here on SMCI is this the next craziest investment in the AI, in the hardware, in the semiconductor world, Or is this a scam? And only time will tell. They need to drop their 10K filings. They need to show us that they're not actually lying and scamming their way through it. We need to see how the DOJ probe plays out. So this stock could easily just find support into $40 and not really push under until that report comes out. Because a name like this, having a PE of only 21, forward PE of 9 is crazy. For example, Nvidia, PE of 55 and forward PE of 29. AMD, probably in the hundreds, 192 PE, forward PE of 29. Micron, probably in the hundreds also, right? So a name like SMCI, to have a PE of only 21 is insane. People will die to buy some shares on the stock if they're not a scam. So I'm gonna say that this is not a high important stock to think short unless it really gets below 40 and you can see selling under 40 prominently coming below 40s, like they're not able to hold the stock above 40. Then you can think about going short, but this is a very cheap stock at the moment if they're not a scam. So just keep that in the back of your head. TSM looking like it wants to reclaim this barrier high that it has been really stuffed under. I think if I want to trade semiconductors, I'm just gonna stick to Micron or the semiconductor ETF. A lot of these stocks are just going back and forth at the moment, so I'm not that interested. Intel is actually one that's interesting because if it goes back into 22 and holds anywhere above 22, potentially could be looked as a long, as a swing trade, as a day trade, as an investment, because your stop is very defined. If you're invested in Intel at these lows, then your stop is basically below 1850, I'd hope, right? Unless you really believe in the company, especially after everything that they've done. If you really still believe in Intel, then you know, you're smoking some real good hopium and I would want to try some. But if you're looking for a swing trade or some sort of a quick little opportunity to capitalize on, holding above 22 and bouncing above 22 is the setup over there on Intel to keep an eye out for. As for a day trade, you know, the volume's dying down on this name. It's not really that interesting as a day trade either. The stock's ATR is $1, but very rarely it even moves a full dollar, right? For example, today's low and today's high, very rarely it even moves a full dollar. So I'm putting $1 ATR in quotes. Carolyn Savage, I love it. Savage. Coming in saying, hey, how you doing, Carolyn? Welcome to the stream. Prad, anything on Intel? Ooh, surprise, I was just talking about Intel without even seeing that comment. Intel, yeah, so not really a day trade, but if you're thinking about it as an investment, as a swing trade, I think it's a pretty obvious answer. You get long into 22 and you're risking around $18.50, a $2 risk for, who knows, $30 reward, $50 reward in the future if they're actually getting bought out. Qualcomm comes in and says we're actually going to buy them out. However, I think that deal was said not true, so potential over there. Coinbase 160 is going to be a level to keep an eye on, just that significant level. We didn't really push all the way into 160 today, but keeping an eye on Coinbase into $160. MSTR also pulling back with Bitcoin. Wow, looks like MSTR actually got flushed after gapping up. So MSTR at the end of the day still up 1.2%, but a little bit of weakness in the sector, and that's what you're trying to look out for. Is the sector going to get flushed back tomorrow? BTC has created some sort of a lot of back and forth action into 60K at this point, where people are not really worried about 60K. As you can see, my real support area is that 52K/50K area. Unless Bitcoin really gets under 50,000, I wouldn't say the shorts really open up to the downside. So this is just a lot of wiggle back and forth. As for intraday moves though, getting below 60 could have some weight on stocks like Coinbase, could have some weight on stocks like IBIT. So opportunities there for us to take advantage off of. But that bigger picture idea, the shorts really aren't winning on Bitcoin until we get below 50K. And that's, I don't think, is happening anytime soon. Not because I'm bullish on Bitcoin or anything. I just don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. So we'll see. Last few stocks, we got the large cap Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Meta. Meta was fairly weak today compared to how strong Apple and Tesla and the rest, well, maybe not Tesla because Tesla got slammed down, but how strong rest of the stocks were. I think if Apple actually closed green, Microsoft, if I remember correctly, closed red. Okay, Microsoft hella weak. QQQ bounced fairly well. S&P 500 bounced fairly well. So I was expecting the market to really sell off. Look at the market holding 565, right? So S&P 500 getting below 565 really opens up weak side, and I was so excited for that downside today. Boy, oh boy. I was shaking. I was so ready for it. I was zinned up. I was zinned up. I'm gonna zin up right now. On a very, very empty stomach. Probably not a good idea. Last time I did that, I was sweating. But I was zinned up, shaking, ready to slam the shorts below 565 on the S&P 500. But damn it, it never came to play. It never came to play. But there's always a tomorrow. There's always a tomorrow. So, I guess Apple, shout out to Apple. Tesla tried to take the market to the downside, failed, didn't really do a good job at it. But the delivery numbers, they failed by like what, 1,000 delivery cars? Who cares about that? They were off by 1,000 cars, but I guess the market cared about it, and they obviously flushed the stock to the downside a little bit. You also had Meta, which I said wasn't that strong today, which was very shocking to me. I thought Meta would actually be one of the stronger stocks when S&P 500 is reversing the way the SPY is, when Qs are reversing the way the Qs are. I thought Meta would be the crazy stock to reverse too. I guess it did reverse because I did get a long on Meta today. Let me show you my long on Meta. Open original. So here was my long on Meta, right into this consolidation low after the open. When I saw the S&P 500 kind of bounce from 565, when I saw QQQ reversing, I figured, okay, let me just slip a bit in over here, give it like a 50 cent, $1 risk on this position, see what happens. Easy scalp, almost $3 per share winner. Could have gotten $5, could have gotten $6 per share winner on this trade had I only traded it a lot better. But hey, it was a scalp for me. I took my scalp, right? That's all that matters to me. But I was expecting the stock to really bounce and rally to the upside because the market was turning green, but the Meta really didn't do that. So I guess that is a big indicator as to how not strong some of the stronger stocks in the market were. So if the market's really weak tomorrow and the stronger stocks are also weak tomorrow, that could really be the push button. We are about to blow up the market to the downside. 565 breakout S&P 500. You're gonna get a $10 move. Maybe 10 is over expecting, but you're gonna get at least a $5 move off of 565 short into 560, and then who knows where else we go on the market. So looking for that 565, very big level at the moment. Major level on the S&P 500. QQQ levels aren't really as clean, so I'm just using S&P 500 to trade QQQ. As you can see right now, actually QQQ is finally holding under FOMC VWAP. So FOMC VWAP actually held the market above for quite some time, but now we're holding under FOMC VWAP. Is this change in characteristics where we start pushing back down? S&P 500, I think, looking a little similar to FOMC VWAP, and we're finally holding under FOMC VWAP now. So that's a little bearish indicator being triggered. Let's see how the pops react on the market. Thank you, Pratt. I may need a shot of VO before I buy Intel. Vodka? Is VO vodka? What's VO? VSOP? What's VO? I'm guessing vodka, right? I want a shot of vodka. I have a bottle of vodka here somewhere in my shelf. I'm pretty sure it's empty though. I don't know why I have an empty bottle of vodka there, but hey, it's there. Okay. So just basically watching S&P 500 and looking to see if the Magnificent Seven set up at some clean levels for us to take advantage of. For example, Apple, Tesla, which was fairly weak today, broke a I guess last week's low. Is that last week's low? Last week's high? No. Oh, we actually bounced off of last week's low, but we ended up closing around yesterday's low. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So that's a pretty fair level right there. 250 to 240, $10 ATR on Tesla if I remember correctly. Yep, 1065 ATR, $10 range. And now you're basically playing under over 250, under over 240. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Obviously, where the stock opens in pre-market is also very important. Very, very important. Where does the stock open in pre-market? What does it do in pre-market? Does it open above 250 and then pull back into 250 and hold above 250? That's a long. Does it open above 250 but not able to hold 250 and starts trading below 250? That's a short, right? So it's also very important to see what the stock does in the pre-market. Going down my watch list to see if I'm missing anything. Angry Buddha on the X.com chat. What's up, Angry Buddha? Sadly, I cannot bring in X.com chats like I can with YouTube chats. So head over to my YouTube. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Angry Buddha, I know you have, but JJ, head over to YouTube. Hello, YouTube. All right. Going down my watch list here, trying to see if I'm skipping anything that I maybe need to talk about. Gold wants to break out again? What? Peter Schiff, Angry Buddha, it's your time. It's your time to go bother Peter Schiff again. Gold wants to break out. So let's see. Let's see if it does. In that case, silver probably went up too, a little bit. Yeah, silver actually, oh, what a short that was. Oh boy, that's gonna be an insane long. Alert. Right there. Boom. That's gonna be an insane long. If we break out of this, that's an insane long. So I'm gonna add it to my alert. I'm gonna put it to my watch list. Watching 2950 area to see how silver acts as we pop into it again. And if we break out of that one, let's go. Lol, gold will go up, but not as much as MSTR. Yeah, that's what you say in his comments. When he's on X Spaces, trying to wrap my head around to not call it Twitter anymore. Call it X.com. When he goes on X.com Spaces, the Zin is fucking me up. Fucking me up. When you go on X.com Spaces from him, you should bother him. Be like, it won't go as much as MSTR, and see how quickly you get banned and blocked from him at that point. I want to actually go to your profile. Have you been updating? How many days has it been now since Peter Schiff has blocked you? Oh, you removed it. You removed it. Come on. We were so excited for that. I was, at the very least. Let's see if Nathan posted anything. Not really. He posted something about food too. Interesting. Shorted here, shorted here, shorted here. And then took profits, I'm guessing. Follow this guy, Taco Money, Taco X Money on Twitter, on X.com. Amazing trader. I love watching his trades and trying to emulate that. So he was short all the way in the pre-market itself. Got out into 113. Short in pre-market, got out into the lows. Short pre-market. Look at the number of stocks he traded. Not a single red stock. And do you recognize all of these names? They are all Chinese. That's how important the Chinese sector is right now. For day traders, this is how important the Chinese sector is. So as Victor mentioned earlier in the stream, that the Asian markets went up, the Japan market went up by 2.5%. that is good news. Because the higher these Asian markets go overnight, the higher these Chinese stocks go in our stock market when we open up, and the more juicier the shorts get, or even the longs. Right now, there's so much bullish momentum. Maybe just look for the dip buys, but I promise you, the money is in the shorts, because the higher these go, the more they're looking to get slammed back down. Silver, though, as I was just talking about silver, I'm glad that I went through my watch list to scan some stocks, and silver really stood out to me right here. Let's go take a look at the IPO calendar, see if anything's there. Today's 2 IPOs weren't actually bad. SARO gave you a pretty decent long off of $31. Let me go to the 5-minute chart. It gave you a decent long off of 31 right here. Opened at 31. Tried to get below 31 multiple times, but failed to get below 31. So you could have gone long right there. I did have a long, but I got out into 31.50 because I didn't really think a big expansion move like this was going to happen. I mean, the stock was supposed to open into $18 to $22, if I remember correctly. So opening up at 31, I didn't think this crazy move was available in this position, but I guess it was. So shout out to this name. I took my scalp and I got out of it, but big move on this IPO, and there's a reason why I call myself the IPO specialist. So let's go to the offer amount, see if there's a big one tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 3rd of October, and we don't have anything that we care about, so nothing for us to do research on. But looks like this month, actually this week and next week, we do have quite a bit of IPOs to keep an eye out for. 9th of October we have a decent IPO. 10th of October we have a decent IPO. 78 million is not a lot, but something to possibly keep an eye on. Bing X, that sounds like a Chinese name, so most likely potentially keeping an eye on that one. If it is, we'll do some research about that tomorrow. Make sure you show up to the stream tomorrow for that. This one's a 55 million, but it really says, well, I thought it said China. Chain Bridge, okay. 55 million is not a lot, but looks like there could be something there. But usually the bigger amounts, like the 500 million, 300 million amounts, are the one we care about. So 9th of October and 10th of October, we got 2 decently big IPOs incoming very soon. I'm just gonna quickly hit this stream with an ad, so I apologize for anybody who gets hit with it, but you know, it's something that I have to do for the algo. I have to do something for the algo over here to get more followers. I also need to just, you know, create shorts. I need to stop being lazy and playing Stardew Valley after I'm done streaming. Oh, I need to do some work. Let's see what you're saying. Now I took off the update. I don't want the bad vibes. You know what? That's a good call, actually. You know, why throw out the bad vibes? It makes sense. But I do bother him on his post. Look at my replies. I do see your replies. I have seen them a lot, so I know exactly what you mean by saying you bother him. I've seen that. Hopefully the ad is done and you guys are back so we can talk about the economic calendar here real quick. We do have some 3-star events tomorrow spread out throughout the day. Starting at 8:30, we got the initial jobless claims. 9:45, we got the S&P 500 Global Services PMI, S&P Global Services PMI coming out at 9:45. And then at 10 o'clock, you got the non-manufacturing PMI coming out. So we have 3 pretty decent 3-star events spread out. Once again, 8:30, 9:45, and 10 o'clock. Most likely the numbers come out good. So far they have been coming out good, so why would I expect something different, right? So if the numbers come out good, market goes higher or gaps up higher at 8:30, and then, well, not really gaps up higher, but climbs up higher in pre-market. But technically that would be gapping up higher if you're just tracking from where the market closed into where the market opened, and then you're now analyzing how to trade that. Then you got a number at 9:45, then you got a number at 10 o'clock. So keeping an eye out also all the way into 10 o'clock. The market could really not decide a big direction until 10, and then after 10 we could see a direction really being kickstarted. Then you also have the news catalyst that could come out at any moment. That could come out tonight, that could come out tomorrow, that could come out at lunchtime, that could come out at 1 o'clock. We don't know when they're gonna do anything crazy, so make sure that you have some sort of a news thing open. You can even just open, you know, NBC on YouTube Live, honestly, and just have that in the background and see if they talk about any crazy attacks that are going off. And if that's happening, that's going to move the market too. So very, very important, volatile situation in the market right now. So good opportunities are going to line up no matter what. All we have to do is be patient and take advantage of them, not just randomly punch into spots, right? Not just randomly punch into trades. Not to trade. I think someone, my manager actually mentioned this today, but this is something I heard before too. You know, trading gets boring when you're doing the right thing. And that's what you want to get to. You want to get to a very boring point of state where you know, you are waiting for so many checklists to come into play before you even execute on the trade. And if you actually start analyzing the checklist and all the right reasons to take a trade, all the right reasons to exit out of a trade, if you're analyzing all that information, then you don't really end up taking that many trades, right? So just being in the right names, looking at the right sector, and being patient. That's the name of the game. It's not hard, but we make it hard for ourselves because of our psychology. You know, it's money, so people obviously have emotions come into play when it's money related. So put all that aside, just trade the trade. Trade the trade. And when I say this, honestly, I'm talking to myself, not to you guys, not trying to give you guys a lecture. I'm just trying to install this mindset into myself. Saying it out loud puts it more into my own head and then gets it more installed into my own self. So I start practicing what I preach, right? So I start practicing what I preach. But ladies and gentlemen, that is basically all she wrote for tonight. I hopefully talked about most of the main stuff that you guys might want to be focusing on if you're day trading tomorrow, and directed you in the right ways. Hopefully we all make some money. Hope is not the right term to use though, so make sure that you're patient and trading the right names, looking at the right sectors. Good luck to you guys tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow for the final stream of the week. I think this is Wednesday, right? Yeah, so final stream of the week tomorrow, Thursday. We do have a special guest this Friday, sorry, not this Friday, this Sunday, 6 o'clock. And then I also think I have a special guest lined up for next Sunday, 6 o'clock too. So we have two special guests coming up very soon. We're gonna have some fun, interview them about their investing careers, their trading careers, what they're going to do going forward, what their plans are. Well, you know, maybe they can give us some nuggets about their line of attacking the market and so on. Also have a Bitcoin person coming up very soon too, so we're gonna have a lot of fun. Just keep tuning in. Let's grow the brand. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Appreciate you guys taking a time out of your night. You know, much rather spend it with your loved ones. I know I would much rather go spend it with my niece right now who's downstairs, so I'm gonna go do that. I'll wish you guys a good night, and see you guys tomorrow for the final stream of the week. Peace. All across the board. Magnificent 7 also had a pretty good day on themselves today, so pretty good moves across the board. Or tech basket get destroyed. Get ready for trade off of. Get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.